You want the best for your car? You already watch our tutorials.
So the best place for the best deal is to buy from the Mr. Auto app. Easy, fast, and with better prices than on the website.
You will find the TRW drum brake kit used in the video through the link in the description. Turn your engine off, pull up the handbrake, pull on the bonnet release lever, and open the bonnet. Open the brake fluid reservoir. Loosen the rear wheel studs. To change the rear drum brakes on your vehicle, you will have to remove the wheels to gain full access. Lift the rear of your vehicle. Place the vehicle on the axle stands. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial, raising your vehicle safely before carrying out this step. Don't forget to slide them under the vehicle. You can now see the drum brakes on your car. Loosen the drum retaining screw on the rear hub using a T30 Torx socket. Then release the handbrake, or else you won't be able to proceed. For this operation, we strongly recommend removing the bearing hub assembly to facilitate access to the various components to be removed. Using a hammer and a chisel, remove the rear hub nut cover. Using a brake upper and an M30 Triple square socket, unscrew the hub nut. Remove the hub nut. You can now remove the bearing assembly. You can now access the brake mechanism. Now you have to remove the mounting system of the shoes. Using pliers while holding the rod from behind, unclip the hold-down parts that hold the shoes, pressing on the springs and turning a quarter turn to release them. Then remove the rods. Using a flathead screwdriver, pry the brake shoes out of their lower housings. Then pull the assembly outwards. Using pliers for the handbrake cable, remove the handbrake cable from its latch. You now need to clean the inner side with a wire brush and brake cleaner in order to remove the brake dust left over from the natural wear of the brake shoes. Remember to protect the floor by placing a fluid collection tray. You can learn how to make one by watching another of our videos, How to Make a Collector for Liquids. When replacing rear drum brakes, it is best to replace the wheel cylinder, which is a vital part of the system. These elements can often get jammed, so use a penetrating oil to facilitate the operation. Use an 11mm flare nut spanner to loosen the brake fluid inlet pipe by few threads. Take a socket wrench and a T27 Torx socket to remove the wheel cylinder mounting screw. Finish unscrewing the brake fluid inlet. You can now remove the wheel cylinder. Brush the contact surface between the cylinder and the plate. Then clean with a brake cleaner.
All parts used in this tutorial are supplied by our trusted partners. These partners also help us create as many video tutorials as possible. Check them out in the description below.
You will find the TRW parts and products used in the video in the link in the description. Take the new cylinder supplied with the drum brake kit. You can now put it on. Put the brake hose in place and roughly screw it back on. Then tighten the support bolt completely to make it easier to tighten the brake hose. Finish tightening the brake hose. Before installing the new brake shoes, clean the plate again. Once cleaned and dried, lubricate the brake shoe bearing surfaces. Take the pre-assembled kit. Start by reinserting the handbrake cable into its latch. Position the assembly on the plate. Next, position the brake shoes on the wheel cylinder. Then finish by placing them on the lower stop. Once securely in place, reassemble the shoe holding system with the spring rods and hold-down parts supplied in the kit. Put the hub bearing assembly back in its slot. Screw the hub nut back on. We recommend installing a new nut. Finish off the tightening with a torque wrench. Then refit the nut cover using a socket of the same diameter so as to not damage it. Take the drum. Clean the drum with brake cleaner and paper towels. You can now close the work area by putting the drum back on. Install the retaining screw. After changing the brake cylinders, you need to bleed the brake fluid to remove any bubbles that have seeped into the system. We strongly suggest watching the tutorial Bleeding the Polo 5 brake fluid system. Once the bleeding is done, you must pump several times to activate the automatic adjustment of the drum brakes. Under no circumstances should you use a screwdriver to adjust the drum brake, as it works by itself once it has been purged. You may hear adjustment clicking noises when pumping the brake pedal. Finish tightening the drum brake screw. You can now repeat the operation on the other side. Before starting your car, don't forget to screw the brake fluid stopper back in. Then you will be able to put the wheels back on your vehicle. Put your car back on the ground and block the wheels securely. Operation completed.
Hi, it's Theo from UseTool. I hope this video has helped you a lot in your car maintenance. We would be super grateful if you could spread the word so that we can produce even more tutorials. Simply give us a like, a comment, and hit that subscribe button. It really helps us boost the channel and help the whole community. Thanks a lot and have a great one.